Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today we are continuing on my Discworld journey and we are reading Jingo by Terry Pratchett. Today we are reviewing Jingo by Terry Pratchett. If you're not new to my channel, you'll know that I'm trying to read the Discworld series in order. So we are up to Jingo, which I believe is the 18th Discworld novel. Let's see if it tells me inside. Who knows? It came out in 1997, so we're getting more modern as we go along. But as always with my book reviews, I'll read you guys the blurb first. Before we get into that, don't forget if you like what you see to subscribe to this channel. Your continuous support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. Blurb time. A weathercock has risen from the sea of Discworld, and suddenly you can tell which way the wind is blowing. A new land has surfaced, and so have old feuds. And as two armies march, Commander Vimes of Ankh-Morpork City Watch has got just a few hours to deal with a crime so big there's no law against it. It's called war. He's facing unpleasant foes who are out to get him. That's just the people on his side. The enemy might even be worse. And his pocket disorganizer says he's got to die under things to do today. But he'd better not because the world's cleverest inventor and its most devious politician are on their way to the battlefield with a little package that's guaranteed to stop a battle. Discworld goes to war with armies of sardines, warriors, fishermen, squid, and at least one very camp follower. Jingo is the 21st in Terry Pratchett's phenomenally successful Discworld series. We have a review here from a few people. The Discworld is more complicated and satisfactory than Oz. It has an intelligent wit and a truly original grim and comic grasp of the nature of things. Pratchett creates a brilliant excess of delectable detail. That's from A.S. Abiyat, Book Prize winning author. The Times says he is unfailingly a joy. The Express Pratchett is a comic genius. And on the back The Guardian says a sequence of unalloyed delight. So this is the 21st Discworld book. I'm doing well. We're going through. I always enjoy Discworld. I call them a palate cleanser read because they are complete and utter satire. They are very funny and you always return to the Discworld. You know the world inside out. You know these characters so well. Its characterization is so wonderful. And you just know that everything Pratchett says in these books is to take the piss out of a serious problem in the real world, but because he's taken the piss out of them, it makes you laugh at the world. So no matter how dramatic and awful things are, when you look at it through Pratchett's eyes, it helps ease the pain of this world. I'm going to try and do this review as spoiler-free as possible. I believe I have one spoiler at the end of these quotes, so I will let you know when that comes up and give you a time to skip to if you want to avoid it. It's about a character's arc, so if you don't want to know where they go, skip there. But for now, let's get started with my quotes from this book. Page 13. Sailed without its captain, said Vimes. So Mr. Scaplet is in charge, your first officer? Yes. Damn, said Vimes, snapping his fingers theatrically. That man we've got in the cells on a charge of being naughtily drunk last night. We're going to have to charge him with impersonation as well then. I didn't know. More blasted paperwork. The stuff just piles up. I just love how sarky Vimes is. The captain's trying to lie. Vimes already has this guy. Love him. Page 17. Why are our people going out there, said Mr. Bogus of the Thieves' Guild. Because they are showing a brisk pioneering spirit and seeking wealth and additional wealth in a new land, said Lord Veterinary. What's in it for the Clatchians, said Lord Downey. Oh, they've gone out there because they are a bunch of unprincipled opportunists always ready to grab something for nothing, said Lord Veterinary. Skip a bit. The patrician looked down again at his notes. Oh, I do beg your pardon, he said. I seem to have read those last two sentences in the wrong order. Lord Veterinary and Vimes are just brilliant. I love how sarky they are with the other Discworld characters. They're so intelligent compared to the general populace around them a lot of the time. And I just absolutely adore it. And I love how in that one set of dialogue, Veterinary and Pratchett are showing the two sides of the same story in any situation, particularly when it comes to who owns what. I love it. Page 18. Sir Samuel, the Clatchian language does not even have a word for lawyer, said Mr. Slant. Doesn't it, said Vimes. Good for them. You know my Discworld quotes are always just going to be me laughing at things. They are. Page 54. "Why has Ahmed got such a big curved sword slung on his back?" he said. "Ah, you're a police officer. You notice such things. It's hardly a concealed weapon, is it? It's nearly bigger than him. He's practically a concealed owner." This is just a fun way to show how big this curved blade is that 71-hour Ahmed is wearing. Now, in that quote, I did change policeman to police officer. This book is written in 1997. Pratchett does deal with sexism in his work, but he still does use terms from our world, from that time period. So policeman, men at arms, men at war. Vimes often talks to his men before battles, even though Cheery is there, representing a woman. All of these kind of things. Now, Pratchett writes a satire, which often makes it difficult to see if he's fallen into traps or not. Books written pre-2010, as you'll know if you're not new to my channel, I generally let go of any sexism that isn't meant to be harmful. So the fact that Pratchett uses policeman instead of police officer is how it was referred to in 1997. It's what you were taught in school. Obviously that has now changed, but I'm not going to mark Pratchett down for using that terminology because he's not meaning it offensively. Also, it is satire. So when Vimes refers to his men, you know Pratchett is trying to fight sexism in his work. So kind of let it go. You know, for me, that's just how I'm going to review this, so just so you are aware. Page 63. Colon and Nobbs are investigating this. Really? Yes, sir. If I were to ask you why, you'd pretend not to understand. Vimes let his forehead wrinkle in honest perplexity. Sir? If you say sir again in that stupid voice, Vimes, I swear there will be trouble. They're good men, sir. However, some people might consider them to be unimaginative, stolid, and, how can I put this? Possessed of an inbuilt disposition to accept the first explanation that presents itself and then bunk off somewhere for a quiet smoke. Oh, a certain lack of imagination. An ability to get out of their depth on a wet pavement. A tendency to rush to judgment. I underlined the out of their depth on a wet pavement. I just absolutely loved that detail about Nobbs and Colon. Again, it's just great showing. Page 82. The unofficial entrance to the university has always been known only to students. What most students failed to remember was that the senior members of the faculty had also been students once, and also liked to get out and about after the official shutting of the gates. This naturally led to a certain amount of embarrassment and diplomacy on dark evenings. It's just taking the mick out of something we all know to be true, and I just find it great. Page 128. Now, I do apologise, I don't know if it's Dreg or Dreg for pronunciation, but Dreg, said Angua. A warlike desert tribe, said Carrot, very fierce, honourable though. They say that if a Dreg is your friend, he's your friend for the rest of your life. And if he's not your friend, that's about 5 seconds. Again, it's just great showing. You know when I do Pratchett, it's always about the showing. Page 186. They asked if they should untie you, but I said you hadn't been getting enough rest lately, Carrot went on. Captain, my arms and legs have gone to sleep, Vimes began. Oh, well done, sir. That's the start, at least. Carrot? Yes, sir? I love Carrot as a character. He is just so honest and true and just takes everything as it is. Oh, he tried to let Vimes rest and thought that Vimes' legs and arms being asleep was a good thing. I'm going to say spoiler alert here. It's for one small bit. If you don't want any spoilers, please skip to this time here. It is regarding a character's arc throughout this book. So spoiler alert, skip to this time here. Nobby as Betty. Now, I absolutely loved Nobby becoming Betty. I loved the representation. It was fantastic, and I was actually disappointed when Nobby returns to Nobby. I wanted Nobby to remain Betty because it just felt so true to Nobby. I loved Betty so much, and the way that Pratchett portrayed Betty, I also adored. Fantastic. Welcome back if you're here from the spoiler-free section. We're now going to go into my overall review of Jingo by Terry Pratchett, and we are going to use my new book review system, which is enjoyment, writing style, plot, world building, characterization, representation, and originality. Entertainment, we know that's a 5 out of 5, guys. I'm always entertained by Pratchett's writing. Writing style, 5 out of 5. No one writes like Pratchett. He has his own voice, his own style, and I love it. Plot. Pratchett has now found plot. We know from his earlier work he was still toying with this idea. Jingo has a definite plot structure and even tries to trick you with its own structure and the characters' reactions to things, so 5 out of 5. World building, it's the Discworld, 5 out of 5. He has built such an amazing world with the Discworld, and obviously in Jingo it's just expanded. Characterization, 5 out of 5. Representation, I've given it 5 out of 5. Bear in mind this book is from 1997, but it is fantasy. Now, one thing Pratchett has always done with Discworld is he uses fantasy creatures such as dwarfs, zombies, vampires, golems, trolls to represent various communities in the real world also. And this book also represents members from Clutch. I loved it, 5 out of 5. I think it does have good representation. And originality, 5 out of 5, which gives this book 35 out of 35, which makes it a 5-star read. I love Jingo. The Watch series from the Discworld in general, a lot of Pratchett fans will recommend to a non-Pratchett fan because they seem to be the easiest to get into. Personally, my favourite is still the Witches and anything that involves death, or the Assassin's Guild. But I do really love The Watch also, and I love how our cast is varying further. I loved it, 5 out of 5. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this book review. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Tumblr. I post bookish pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!